So I got some comments on my Insecure video, and I thought about them, and I want to address those and make an announcement. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar. This is Big Discussions 76 Entertainment and Media. First of all, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. I wanted to make a follow-up video to my Insecure video, which immediately precedes this one. And I'm going to start off by saying that, being a YouTube content creator is not for the faint of heart. You have to have some thick skin when you're doing something like this. And what I mean by that is, there are two things going on here. As a content creator, you're shooting something with the intention of communicating something. And then you have all these viewers sitting out there, and depending upon their background, depending upon their interest, and depending upon their point of view and life experiences, they, you're presenting a certain thing, but they may take it and pull something else back. Or, you might have presented this entire Picasso painting, let's just say that, and they may focus on just this little itty bitty part here and say you need to do this little itty bitty part here better. People might think you talk too long. People might think you're not exciting. People might think that in some instances you give too many shout outs. People might think that you don't give enough of your own thoughts. So, as a content creator, again, you have to be willing and able to take those comments and either accept them and incorporate them, or just discard them, say I'm going to use this and use this, I'm not going to use this. So it's a very, very interesting thing here. So I got some feedback on my Insecure video, but I'm going to start actually with a movie. And before I jump in, well, I'm going to give a shout out. Alan Roger Curry, one of my favorite content creators, and he normally, whenever he gets a comment or comments that really, really convict him and move him, Alan usually makes a response video, sometimes going as long as 30 minutes, sometimes is going as long as an hour, but that's just his style. So the movie I thought about as I was thinking about this video was Juice, starring Tupac Shakur, Omar Epps, Jermaine Hopkins, and Khalil Kain. And I might use that as the thumbnail, so the people who see the title Insecure and see the thumbnail Juice might be a little bit confused, but that's okay. So in the movie, there's a scene where the four guys, Bishop, Raheem, Q, and Steele, they all conspire to rob old man Quillis. And Raheem comes up with a gun, and Bishop is the one who holds the gun. And what ends up happening is the robbery goes bad. Bishop decides to shoot old man Quillis. He starts to feel like a much bigger guy than he is. He craves respect, and he ends up shooting Raheem. Classic movie. But before he shoots Raheem, there's a discussion between the group, and Q says, "We got to get rid of the gun," and Bishop says, "No, I'm holding on to the gun until I see fit." and he draws a line in the sand, and then there's a tussle between him and Raheem, and he shoots Raheem. But I think the point is that he says, you know what, I'm going to hold on to the gun until I say so. So he draws this line in the sand. And so right now, I want to draw a line in the sand and basically say that however I create my videos is how I create my videos. Most of what I do, especially on YouTube, is thought out ahead of time and calculated. So I just don't shoot videos just for the hell of them without thinking about them first. And so that Insecure video, I shot that video the way I intended to shoot it. It started off in a very self-deprecating way, which means I was kind of making fun of myself and saying that, okay, yes, I have been and I am late to the party. The show's been out for 2 to 3 seasons, and I just tuned in, so I intended to shoot it in a very self-deprecating way. And, you know, one of the things in terms of being a YouTube content creator you need to think about is the YouTube algorithm. So I knew that the season finale was coming up, and I intentionally shot a video the day after that season finale with the hope of potentially catching the algorithm. And again, I hadn't watched the show much and personally kept tabs on it. I saw lots of BWs talking about it on Facebook and Twitter. But I really started paying attention to the show through the lenses of some of the content creators in what's called the Black Manosphere. BGS, Black Gnostic Speaks, Ibmore, Ron Wills, and to a lesser extent, Cousin T-Taw. And they had a panel on that. And so, you know, likewise, when I shot my video on it, in my mind, the two were connected. The show and the interpretations and the parallels drawn to our real world by those content creators. So what I'm saying is I didn't shoot that video with the intention of it being a 100% traditional review, 100% original review of the show. Okay, so if people came looking for a 100% original review of the show, I didn't give that to you. And that was intentional. I shot the video to say, okay, I looked at the show and I hadn't watched it, but based upon reviews and commentary about actual black relationships from these content creators who I watch and who I hold in high esteem, what I saw was accurate. And from my personal experience, it seems to be consistent with real life and what I've experienced in terms of black dating and mating. So no, it wasn't a 100% original review, but that's not what I was shooting for. So now that that's out of the way, I want to say that, you know, in general, for a lot of us, black relationships are broken. And so, you know, it's not just, you know, reviewing that show is not just like reviewing Star Wars or Star Trek or The Matrix or The Avengers. That show, while it's fictional, very much mirrors reality in terms of black relationships. So the two are intermingled, as are the show and the content created by the content creators that I discussed. So yes, once again, I want to shout out BGS, Ron Wills, and Cousin T-Taw. By the way, if you hang out over in the Black Manosphere, guys are shouting themselves out all the time. Guys are referencing themselves, referencing others all the time. BGS nods to Ron Wills. Ron Wills nods to BGS. They nod to Cousin T-Taw. The same thing is true with Obsidian and Kevin Samuels and all those guys. So nodding to one another acknowledging each other's work, that's the normal. Now, if you don't hang out in the black manosphere, if you hang out in the more conservative spaces, if you hang out in the black consciousness spaces, if you hang out and just watch sports, you're not privy to what's happening in the black manosphere and what's done over there. But there's a way that they do things over there, and that's one thing. They nod to each other and they shout each other out. By the way, I just went up on two of BGS's panels within the last 2 to 3 weeks, and that's been a huge thing for me. He's been very accepting and supporting of my content, and I appreciate that. And he just subbed the channel, so shout out. There's another shout out. So shout out to BGS, and I apologize to anyone if I'm offending any viewers with these shout outs, but it's my channel, so I can do what I want. So I'm going to end this video by saying that everything is not meant for everybody. So as a viewer and a subscriber, you always have the choice of not watching something or watching something. And if something is painful for you to watch, or if it's killing you to watch something, all you have to do is turn it off. There's nothing holding you there, and there's no law that says that you have to sit and watch a video. If there are too many shout outs, if someone is being acknowledged that you don't like, or if you don't agree with the messages being discussed, and this is something that's prevalent in YouTube, I've noticed. Tommy Sotomayor, shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. Oh, there's another shout out. Tommy Sotomayor had to remind a lot of his viewers that if you don't like it, don't watch it. Just pass it by and keep going. So I just wanted to say that, everything is not meant for everybody. If you're not in the manosphere, I'm partially in the manosphere. I hang out over there and I listen to those content creators, and there are norms over there. And if you're not in that space, then combining this pop culture and media with that social commentary, this might not appeal to you. If you are over in those spaces, then this intermingling of the two may appeal to you. And I think that the other reason that's important is because there are a lot of black men like myself who've been crushed in the dating world because black relationships have been broken for a while, have had no idea this stuff is going on and why. And so yes, I think it's important for me, for other black men like myself, to point others like me over to BGS's content, and over to Rom's content, and over to Cousin T-Toss content, because this helps fill in, and it fills in your knowledge set, and it helps you get some understanding of what we're facing and why. So that's all I wanted to say. If I'm saying something over here that's offending you, if you don't like how I'm saying it, you're free to give it a thumbs down. That actually helps the channel as well. You're free to not watch the video. And you're also free to unsubscribe. You don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. So now that's my way of wrapping this up with a nice bow on top. Shout out to Anthony Brian Logan. That's his thing. And I think I'm going to stop here. So, by the way, for those who think I don't take comments and criticism and feedback, if you watch my videos from a couple of months ago, you noticed that I tended to end my videos with, please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Well, it was proposed that maybe I should stop pointing at the camera. So I did stop pointing at the camera. I tweaked it a little bit. But as a content creator, you have to think about personal branding. What makes you different? What makes you unique? And I was pleased a little while ago. Once again, shout out. There's another shout out. I'm getting myself in trouble. Shout out to BGS. In one of his videos, he mentioned my closing statement, which is your attitude determines your altitude. And I was very honored by that because I look up to BGS. I respect him. And that's a part of my branding. So as a YouTube content creator, you also have to think about your own personal branding. What makes you you and what makes you unique. And you know, people are coming in trying to tell you to be something different and do something different. Don't point at the camera, don't point here, don't point there, hold your head up like this, change this, change that. But ultimately, if you're the captain of your ship, you have to decide what you do. And if you're going to crash the ship, if you're going to take your subscribership down to 0, you know, maybe that's what you do. But it's your decision, and at the end of the day, you have to live with your decision, and you have to stick with things if you like them and if you think they're working, and you have to decide to let things go if you don't, if you find that something's not working. But either way, you have to make your own brand and live with your own decision and feel happy with either doing or not doing something, regardless of if someone says that it's cool or it's not cool. So I'm going to stop there. Let me know what you think in the comments section below if you feel so inclined. Please like this video, please share it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching, and as always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Take care, and I'll talk to you the next time. And you might get a shout out. Bye-bye.